All right, the second segment is where we talk about building women, girls, the family, and the society at large. And now we want to talk about building beyond barriers. How should women in the society build themselves beyond the limitations that we see here and there? That is why we have brought to you someone who has been in the society for a long time, and she is into different kinds of entrepreneurs. She is entrepreneurship, she is into different types of businesses, she is into NGOs. So that means that she is in this group and she has seen the ways that women develop themselves and the limitations that come with that. And we want to discuss that with a view to giving provisions or giving solutions to those limitations and how women can key into development that we have all over the world. Now we have Omotola Kuku. She is the acting president of Rotary Club of Ladere, Abeokuta. You're welcome to the program.
Thank you very much.
Nice to see your face again.
Glad to have you. Nice to see you too.
Now, building beyond barriers. To you, what does it mean for women?
Okay, thank you. Basically, building beyond barrier for me is in a world where men rule, like women should learn to do more for themselves, because this is a world of men, and a lot of people believe that men should be in positions, men should be taking up places, and it's not supposed to be like that. So my whole view concerning that is women should stand up for themselves and be in positions where men are. And of course today, a lot of women are doing a lot today. A lot of the women are in places where men used to be. If you look at the banking sector now, you see a lot of women handy. You see a lot of women as general managers in organizations. Before now, men occupy most of those spaces. But the way it is now, women are pushing for such opportunities. And I do not believe that any woman should be laid back in this society now, because if you are laid back, you're going to be brushed aside. And for somebody like me, I don't want to be at the back. I want to be in front.
Definitely.
So, I want to break all barriers as a woman to be there, to occupy any position any man can occupy. So that's it basically for me.
Okay, so you mentioned, it used to be probably, I'll say, a men's world, and a lot of women are now taking, spaces in that, in that place. So how do you then, because I'm sure you've gone through a lot of challenges, to get to where you are presently. So how do you handle criticism, especially from the other gender?
Okay. The honest truth is, men do not like women in position. They do not want women to occupy position. There was a time, I think it was on Instagram, I saw somebody posted something like they were going to vote for a particular female senator to be president, and somebody said, God forbid for a woman to become president, or rather, I saw things like that, and I was like, why? In fact, the people that commented on that particular post were women. Do you understand? So when you mentioned you mentioned criticism from men. It's not only men that criticizes women who succeed. That is the truth. The people that criticizes more, they are women themselves.
Wow.
Yes. That's like they're saying that women are the enemies of women. A lot of women do not want other women to succeed, and the reason is because they feel, why is she doing it? I'm not able to do it. Why is she able to navigate? Why is she able to do this? Why is she able to do that? Why is she president of a club? Why am I not there? So because of that, I strongly believe that it is not only men that criticizes. So how do I handle, from the question, how do I handle criticism? So I'm going to answer the question on both genders, for men and women. Criticism comes from me in both ways. And before now, I bother a lot about criticism. I'm always like, what would they say? What would people say? In fact, when I want to do certain things, I'll be like, how will people take this? How will people take that? Why am I the one pushing? But now, I've really evolved. I've evolved. I'm able to resonate with the fact that a woman can do better than a man in any way she wants to do better. So being able to resonate with that fact, there is no how you want to criticize me that I'm going to belch to it, because I've evolved. So there is no criticism that comes to me that I cannot take the attack. You understand? So when the bullet comes, I take it here, I take it there, because I have where I'm going to, and that is my focus. I focus on my focus. I'm not bothered about what anybody is going to say, because I have a dream, I have a vision, and my purpose in life is to pursue the dream and the vision and get to where I'm going to. I have female children, and I'm going to teach them the same way. So that's it. No criticism works for me.
What about on the female gender?
Oh, female gender.
Yeah, you
know,
just mentioned that.
Yeah, the issue I have with female gender is a lot of women have put themselves down too much. You know, I went to school, I did biochemistry, and a lot of women went to school, they studied, very great courses, and I'm of this school of thought that my parents did not send me to school to go and sit down under one man, to be nothing, to be nobody. No, I went to school to become somebody. I did biochemistry. I'm not working as a biochemist, I'm not working as a pathologist, I'm handling businesses of my own, not just one or two. I do a lot of businesses. So if I can do it, I believe everybody can do it. So why are you making yourself feel less of yourself? Why do you feel it's only a man that should be able to do things that a man is doing? You can also do it. Men are building empires. You can build empires, my dear sister. So when they criticize, why did she see money to do this? Why did she see money to do that? Literally, every woman feels when a woman is succeeding, it's a man that is doing it. It is a lie. Like, hey, people at home, if you're watching me, I believe strongly that as a woman, if you put in the effort, because I put in so much effort into everything that I do, I'm somebody that if I put my hand into something, I have to get results. I don't back down. I don't back out. I just want to get results. And why do people feel that they cannot achieve a particular thing? Why?
Failure mentality.
Yeah, why do you have failure mentality that you cannot get there? You cannot build schools, you cannot build mansions, you cannot build properties, you cannot have things there and there, you cannot get to positions. Why do you feel that way? Because they have been made to believe that any woman that is pursuing that kind of a thing is probably a prostitute or is doing something illegal, but that's not right. And it is not true. A lot of women today are pushing it and they are getting it. So if some women can do it and get it, I'm going to do it and get it. That is my philosophy about things. And I've not even started.
In quotes. Okay, thank you so much for that. How I feel like a lot of women these days, we have the focus, we have the tenacity to do these things. But how do you ensure you have the adequate knowledge, right, to execute on the roles that it is that you want to execute? And also, how are you then training the next generation, teaching the next generation that you are a woman, you can do more. You are a woman, the other woman is not your competition. Who you want to be tomorrow, that's the competition, not the other woman. How are you training other women to have this mindset that you have? How are you ensuring that?
Okay, so the first question, sorry, can you take the first question again? I'm trying to pick. Okay, sorry, I got it. Okay. The first question is, how can you help yourself to get better?
To get better. Ensure you have adequate knowledge.
Seek knowledge. That's what you want to learn fashion designing today, seek knowledge. You want to be an event planner like me, seek knowledge. Go for courses that can help you. Then learn from people who have done these things. A lot of people have done things better than they have done a lot of good things in the field that you want to do. So the best thing is seek knowledge when it comes to anything you want to do. Do not be an island of yourself. When I started with event planning, I didn't train anywhere. I started because of passion initially. So I started working based on my passion, and it got to a point I realized that I needed to seek knowledge to know more, to be able to do some certain things, and I did. I sought knowledge. And your next question, how do we How do we ensure the next generation? Yes, how do we ensure we build the next generation? So a lot of programs are going on these days for women empowerment, girls empowerment. So for me, basically, I use my social media to do this all the time. On my social media, people that are on my social media, they see I talk about how people can get there, how you can achieve everything you want to achieve without limitations, without anybody trying to bring you back. So is by number one, empowerment, using social media, because these days, today is the world of social media. Everything happening today is social media. And there's this, I don't know, maybe I'm permitted to say this here, a lot of girls these days want to, make money the other way. They feel that, no, that right way is too hard. It's just like it's too slow. It's just like going to the gym. Like I go to the gym every day. Some people believe they have to go and do BBL. I do not believe in BBL. I want to go to the gym and get results. It's not that easy. Rome was not built in a day. So we need to let our girls know, our women know that when you start a particular process, it's going to take a process. It will take a while. For some people, maybe loss of grace, it can happen maybe in 6 months, 1 year. Some people it will take time, 5 years to get there. So they need to know. They need to know that when you start something, for you to get there, it will take time, it will take experience, then it will take knowledge to get there. Yes, it will take your time, it will take your attitude. Like they say, attitude determines your altitude. A lot of people go to learn, and when they are learning, they have the wrong attitude towards whatever they are learning. Most of those people, not all, most of those people don't get whatever they want to get in life. So basically, for me, learning is a process. Then we use our social media platforms to promote good things, to promote the fact that people can be who they want to be without any limitation.
Okay, now let's talk about some limitations. Whether we like it or not, there are limitations that are naturally there for women. For instance, some of our companies or organizations will rather employ a man just because a man won't give birth, and they will not start asking for excuses,
allowance, maternity
leave, maybe some women who go through serious cramps of monthly and they take 2-3 days off. So some employers will not take that from their own. So most times they employ males. The percentage of males are higher than females. So in that natural limitation, how do women overcome it? What should they do when it comes to natural limitations, societal limitations? Sometimes there are financial limitations. You want to learn, you have that zeal, the interest is there for you, but the finances for you to pursue it is not there. So how do you go about overcoming some limitations that you don't have power over? Okay.
You mentioned some companies do not want to employ women because of natural limitations, like you said. The way God has created us, God created us to have monthly periods, to have cramps, to have to be pregnant, to be pregnant, to have children. Of course, when you have children, you go on maternity leave. For such situation, for me, I don't believe in forcing things like that. That's the truth. When you're going to be relevant, you are going to be relevant there. That is the truth. You don't have to push to be where you're not going to be relevant, where people feel you're not relevant, where people feel that you're not going to be functional. But there are some cases where you can prove to them, beyond every reasonable doubt that, I can be relevant here, with or without all these natural limitations that I mentioned. So by proving with your work, whatever you can do, that's it.
I think to add to what she said, it's essential that you build capacity, right? When you build capacity, you are almost indispensable, right? When you have built a capacity to an extent, whether you are in the office or you are not in the office, your role is very pivotal.
that whatever it is they want to do, they have to reach out to you. They must seek you. They must seek your guidance or your instructions or whatever it is that needs to be done. So it's essential that as a woman, you have to build capacity so that you're not easily dispensable. If in fact, your office will negotiate with you to say, oh, we know that you need to go on a maternity leave or, 2-3 months. Don't worry, we will pay for it. Please, when will you be able to come back?
Yes.
How would you be able to come? In fact, they would want to employ someone to relieve you of that duty in that space of time, so that the work can go on. But that person will be shadowing you first, because they know that person cannot step into that role just like that. Yes. So you must build your capacity to show that you are not, you cannot be easily, you are indispensable. So it's very essential as a woman.
Now let's talk about some people who see themselves, I'm talking about females now, who see themselves as the almighty. Let me put it that way. That,
alpha females.
Alpha females. That yes, I am here and you must bow to me because I'm your boss and I am a female. I see that as a barrier too, because others that you want to mentor who want to back out and not come to you being their mentee, they will run away. They won't learn what they're supposed to learn. She talked about capacity. When you're building capacity, you learn from somebody. You learn through the process. You learn the role from somebody. And if the person you are learning from is the Margaret Thatcher, who we shouldn't go close to, how then should we break this barrier? Because I see it a lot with female bosses and some areas, not even at work alone. In some societies, when you hear that a woman is heading that place, you tend to think twice.
Oh dear.
Okay, naturally, I'm not a feministic person. Like, I'm not about this feminism, female ego. I'm not that kind of a person, but I think a lot of people sees me like that. The truth about that is, if you have workers around you and they cannot rely on you for knowledge, for help, you also have problem with whatever you're doing. So a lot of women don't know. There are a lot of organizations where women are heading and people suck up, before they can reach them because of their disposition, the way they manage. Some people micromanage. In my own organization, my kind of person, I'm a very strict person when it comes to my work, no doubt. I do not play with my job, everybody knows that. But there is something I do not do. I don't micromanage my staff. Because when you micromanage people, you want to be on top of all their affairs. You want to be here, you want to be there. You want to see to everything that is happening. At the end of the day, if you work with a very type of people, nothing is done. So I think most females, they have that attitude of micromanaging people when they're in office. They want to show that they are there. So unfortunately, it is not the right way to go. Learn to leave spaces for people to be able to work well with you, so that work can flow very well. Do you understand? So if work flows very well, it will give you some sense of sanity as well. It's nothing to show that, okay, I'm there, I'm the one, I'm the boss. It doesn't make any sense to me. The most important thing, the one that makes sense to me, is to make sure that work is delivered and delivered well.
Simple.
Your arrogance, your disposition to work, the way you move around the office, the way you behave to your staff, sometimes would not make your work to be done. Some people would talk to you anyhow because of the way they said to every action there's an equal and opposite. And these Gen Z children now, these Gen Z people, if you employ them, now you employ them, you talk to them anyhow. Tomorrow they're not coming to work. And at the end of the day, you be the one to suffer it. So why don't you come and let things be done properly?
For me, I think the reason this topic now is being discussed is because a lot of women are being shammed down on, like they are in that position, they're in that leadership role, but they've seen a lot of backlash from their subordinates. So I think that's the reason why they've been able to toughen up to some extent, that if you're not mean, if you're not wicked, if you're not authoritative, nobody would respect you and stuff like that. So I just wanted to have, like, for example, now when we talk about women and their emotions, because a lot of people feel that when it's a woman taking up this space, if she's not happy, this whole place can scatter. Do you understand? But when she's happy, then you're good. How do you get to manage, your emotions with your workers?
I won't lie. Sometimes I'm also in my feelings, but I make sure it doesn't affect my work.
Okay.
Yes. I make sure my emotions don't affect my work. Maybe sometimes, but not all the time.
Okay.
Maybe just 5% of the time. When I realize it's getting to the point that maybe I'm overdoing, I drag myself immediately. And honestly, my workers, my coordinators, when it comes to my work, they've been working with me since I started, and to the glory of God, they still want to work with me. In fact, they reach out to me like, how you doing? They're always there.
Yeah.
If I'm not good to them, I'm sure they won't come. But when you call them for a job, they will not answer you. So what I try to do is, when I'm in my feelings or when my emotions is not favoring people around me, when I notice, I notice a lot.
How easy is that?
For me, because at the end of the day, you see some people loafing around when you are giving them serious attitude, and your work will not be done. So why would I continue to do that? I don't want to work in an environment where my assistant has a face or because of my attitude or because of how I've reacted to her. When I notice that, you see, if I tell you today that I don't give such vibes sometimes, it's a lie. Sometimes I give little because you want them to tighten up, but you don't overdo it. When you overstretch, even men do it. They don't overstretch it. When you overstretch it, that's when it becomes a problem. I've had a lot of, things about, this person, you can't work with this or you can't work with that person. But they can work with me because they know that when maybe they met you at the wrong time. Immediately she's dragging you back so that I want everybody to be comfortable. I want people to be comfortable working around me, working with me.
Okay, we have just 1 minute.
Okay.
And, for that 1 minute, we would tell you to advise women who want to break barriers. What is the word of advice to them?
Okay. For every woman watching me today that wants to break barrier, that wants to get to a point in life where you where you feel you cannot achieve or you can't get to, I want to tell you today there is nothing impossible for you to do. If a man can do it, he can do it better. All you need to do is acquire knowledge, be disciplined. Discipline is something that I don't joke with. I'm very disciplined when it comes to work, and knowledge is something you should acquire.
Thank you so much, Rotarian Omotola Kuku. Thank you for your time and thank you for advising our women out there. And I know that children too should take a cue from what we've discussed on the program. Thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
And I want to thank my ladies too, Lola and Blessing, for coming today. And thank you for breaking the table the other time. On this note, we want to close the program, ladies, on the roll for this Monday. Next Monday promises to be another interesting one, as we'll be coming with a lot of goodies to discuss on the program.